Hi guys. Okay, so this is our next project. It's a landscape project and we're going to be using three tools. Today we're going to be using the lasso tool, we're going to be using the gradient tool, and we're going to be using the shape tool. So those are the three tools that we are going to be using today. Your requirements for this project are you have to have a night sky, you have to have stars, you have to have varied layers, so there has to be layering, okay? And you have to have mountains, foreground and background. So my background and foreground mountains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 layers. They're all in gradients. They're all overlapping. I've got 5 trees over here. So you really want to hit this gradient. You want to hit overlap, you want to hit foreground and background. Those are the things that we're looking for in your final piece. All right, so let's go to a new canvas. We're going to go to Art Grid, and we're going to label it background. I'm sorry, landscape. And you do not want to select a background. You're going to be putting a gradient background on there first. So we're going to hit create. Okay. And here I go with my blank canvas. So layer 1 is going to be the background. To do this, we're going to go to gradient. And I want to set it on linear. I don't want it on radial because when the layers of the mountains start to head over it, you're not actually going to see the radial as well. So we want to stick to linear. And I'm choosing a night sky. So I'm going to be in the blacks or the blues or the purples. You could even do this one if you really wanted to. Okay. I actually like this one to start. So you'll notice that I've got my cooler tones and my darker tones here. You can adjust them by moving these arrows. So if you really want a lot of like gray tones and less blue or black, you would slide this arrow to the right. You can also hit color and you can change the base color. So it's going to change this color over here. So you can have black, blue, black if you wanted to, or red, blue, black if you wanted to. I'm going to leave it the way it is because I am, again, looking for that night sky effect. So I'm going to leave it. So I'm going to imagine this is more towards the moon and this is more towards the earth where it's a little bit darker. So once I've hit my selection, I then am going to get an arrow and I'm going to drag the arrow up and down and it's going to give me the gradient. Now, depending on how long I drag my arrow, depends on how long the gradient sets. So this bottom part is going to be the grass, so I don't really want to completely cover up the black, so I want to maybe make it a little bit shorter. If you start from the bottom and go up, you have this. So this is what I'm going to settle on. I am going to, so see, I clicked down first and then dragged up, so it's going to flip the location. So I've got this white on the bottom, black on the top. Again, artist perspective. Do you like it? I like it. So we're going to go with it. All right. So now we're going to create a new layer, empty, and this is going to be our grass. So I'm going to go over to do this. I'm going to go to lasso tool. You do not want it to be on free. You want it to be on polygon. So make sure that you are selecting polygon. And now what we're going to do is we're going to wrap around the canvas and we're going to create a box essentially that's editable, and then we're going to add a gradient to that. So I'm going to start down here, maybe 2 inches from the bottom, and I'm going to drag my line across straight. And I can go off the canvas. So you'll notice that I can go all the way over here if I wanted to. It's going to auto adjust it back to the canvas size. So I go here and then I click. And then I'm going to go down to the bottom here, click with my mouse. See, if you don't click it, then it's going to keep dragging it. So you want to make sure that you click between the two to have it know that you're done with that line. And then you want to make sure that it connects back up. It's okay that it's not straight because what's going to happen is I'm going to collect it and see it shrinks back down to the size of the canvas. And then I see this moving line. That means it is ready to be edited. So again, this is my grass. I'm going to go back to my gradient. Same, let's keep it on linear. And grass is obviously green, but it's nighttime, so it's going to be a dark shade. So I kind of scroll through. Do I like any of these? Let's do this one, and then I'm going to edit how it is. I like it really dark, so I'm going to just kind of make it, I'm going to pull that so it's just solid green. All right, and then again, I drag up and down all the way. Let's see what happens if I go all the way. There we go. Okay, so now I have a solid green background. Sky, grass. Create another layer, empty. All right, now we're going to use that lasso again, and we're going to begin to layer our 7 mountain ranges. So I'm set on polygon again, and it's the same exact thing that I did with the grass, but this time I want these jagged edges. So if we go back to our original, we've got these big jagged edges here between all of them. So I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to go up like this. And then remember, you're clicking between lines so that it tells the polygon lasso that it is time to stop and start a new line. So making sure I'm hitting my mouse, going down, up, and I want to go all the way down here because I want to see that gradient in the background. This is a big mountain range. This is our back layer. So now I've created this zigzag mountain range, again, varying line sizes. I'm off of the page and I'm going to go down in a straight line here to the very top of my grass. And then cut over straight and then go up here. And once again, I've got this movable mountain range piece. So let's go back to gradient. Let's select, so let's see any color you want. Let's start off with this cool pink purple option. So let's do this way, see what happens. Woo, funky. All right, let's go to our next layer, back to lasso, back to polygon. Now we're gonna go in between that first mountain range. You've got so many options here. Make them jagged, cliff face kind of a thing. I go up like that. Okay, so this is the start of my second layer. See how I overlapped and I went in between where the first mountains were so that I can still see those first mountains kind of shining through. I'm going to come down to the top of my grass. I'm going to cut across the same exact way that I did with my other one. And there we go. Back to gradient. Choose what gradient you want. I'm going to go with purple. This is pretty. Straight up and down. Fine. Let's go this way. Yeah, there we go. That's cool. Back to lasso, layer 3. I'm getting smaller as I'm going. Varying shapes, making sure that bottom layer is still showing through. This is much more complicated than my first one. That's good. So I've got my jagged line, cut down to the bottom, cut over, cut up. Choose your gradient. Let's do teal. Do it on a diagonal. All right. Now you'll notice that I'm adding all of these layers in one layer over here. You don't need to add a new layer every single time. You can, you don't need to. Back to lasso. Now we are going to create new layers when we go ahead and do the sky and the trees. But for the mountain ranges, since you're just layering everything on top of each other, you don't need to create a new layer. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit smaller with my mountain range here. Cut across, cut up. It's now editable. Back to lasso. Let's choose this one. This one's cool. Let's try straight across. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Okay, that's 4 layers. Let's go on to layer number 5. It did not work. All right. A little bit of technical difficulty here. Which one did I choose? This one. We went across. Yeah, okay. Now we're going to go back to lasso. My mouse not glitch on me. There we go. Getting more jagged as I go. I really want to see the gradient of that layer behind me. Okay. Select my gradient again. Let's do orange. We haven't done a cool orange. Maybe this time I want to go this way, light to dark. Okay. That looks cool. So there's 5, 2 more. I'm going to split these videos up into 2. So we're going to get the layers, we're going to get the mountain ranges, and then we're going to go on and add the details in the second video. So I'm going to let you guys watch this one. And then go on. Okay, down again, cross again, and stop. Fit to size. Go over to your gradient. What color should we use? Let's see. Oh, this one's pretty. I will go up and down this time. Very nice. And let's do, that's 6. So let's do one more final layer and then we'll go on to the second video. So tiny little layer. This is all the way down. Lowest mountain range, closest mountain range to you. This would be the foreground if we're using our correct art term. Cut across and up. Good. Now let's choose a really bold gradient for this final because you're going to see the entire thing. So you can choose this one. You can choose some of the, real other ones. I'm kind of in the cooler tones towards the bottom of this. So let's pick maybe a warm tone. Let's do this one. A peachy color. Let's do it on a diagonal, see what happens. All right. Good. So we are done with this video. Okay. Go on to the second video to see adding the details.